everything happens for a reason, so don't just give up right away. You can work on it, and parents are there to help most of the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they just don't get you, and then sometimes you need to talk about what you think about them. Just like help them help you, so then you guys have a bit better relationship with each other, and then maybe spend some one-on-one time with different family members or just your parents, whatever you guys choose. But just to work on the relationship, because once you build that relationship, you won't really feel alone anymore. You'll feel like, I can fall back on this person. It'll be okay.
Welcome to the From Within podcast with Ben Oosterveld.
This is a really special episode. I was doing some work in my studio, and my daughter came by and goes, "Dad, what are you doing?" And she's 13 years old, named Scarlett. And I said, "I'm just doing some voice recording." And I said, "Do you want to do a podcast right now?" And she says, "Yeah, okay, I'll do a podcast." And I was thinking, oh, great. This conversation got real fast. Man, I can't wait to show you what this relationship is. I'm so impressed with how she communicated, how she talked to me about my behavior, how she sees her dad, what the relationship means to her, how she sees school, and how she chooses her friends. The wisdom that comes from her is surprising, and it's really, really cool. For years, I struggled with not being a good dad and being upset a lot and not being present. Man, we've come a long ways. Take a listen. I'm super proud of this relationship, super proud of this conversation. Let me know what you think. Cheers.
Don't worry. It's not recording. I promise it isn't.
I see it's recording.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I lied.
And we have Scarlett Oosterveld on the show. It is completely unplanned. She was watching Mama and I do our first podcast. And I said, "Come here, come sit down." This may never, ever get to air to our show, but in May it will be?
No, May.
In May? You want it to be done in May then?
No, it's not what I meant.
Well, what do you mean then? You said May. May what?
You said it may. So there's not a 100% chance it won't be.
That's right. Right. Not sure what you're saying, but we're probably going to put this live. Probably going to delete it. Don't worry.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Okay, so what happened in junior high?
No, elementary. This happened in elementary.
Okay, what happened?
So I was at recess, I twisted my ankle, and then I came inside and I told my teacher. I had 3 teachers, 2 helpers and 1 teacher. And I told my teacher...
Move a little closer there, my sweetheart. You're late right here.
You're weird. And I told my teacher, not the helper, but the teacher, and she said, "Okay, you can sit out in gym." And then I was in gym, I was sitting out, and then my helper, both the helpers asked, "Why aren't you running and doing your laps?" So I told them the story of me twisting my ankle, and they made me do laps anyway, and stretched and stuff, and I was in pain the whole time. And then my teacher, not the subs, but the actual teacher, she went out, because I think her son was had to go to the doctor. So she went out, so I couldn't tell her that the helpers for the teacher were making me do gym. So I had to do gym with twisted ankle.
So I just said, "Hey, Scarlett, tell us a story." And that's the very first story. What grade was that?
1.
Grade 1? And what grade are you in now?
7.
Wow. So you're telling me that all the stories of your whole entire life, this story instantly stood out when I said, "Just tell me a story." Why?
Well,
why did it shape you like that?
I thought that's what the teachers were going to be like the rest of my years in school.
So it shaped your belief around teachers? Like you
Not
thought teachers aren't going to believe
exactly.
you?
Well, not exactly. It just kind of made me so it's I don't fully trust my teachers with with my emotion, not emotions, but when I get hurt, it's it's hard for me to tell them, because I'll be like, "Oh, who's gonna care, right?" Because then it brings me back to grade 1.
So that's crazy. That's crazy how it brings you back. So I think that's probably happening with lots of people in life. Hey, some things happen.
It could be worse, because when someone gets bullied, they tell the teacher. Sometimes the teacher just talks to the bully, and then nothing really happens.
And what does that make that person feel like?
Well, it feels like they're not special, but no one cares about them.
Interesting. So you think that making people really feel that they're cared for is important?
Yeah.
More important than teaching?
Well, I don't like school in general, but yeah.
That's my daughter. The problem is she has a dad that didn't finish school and has done very well in his life.
Your fault.
Yeah. Oh, really? Whoa. Victim mode. Ding, 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 ding. Did you- So, no, that's really interesting that grade 1 is still shaping you. But what's really cool is that me and you can have these conversations, because I think that brings awareness to that grade 1 is still affecting you. It's so a lot of people have experiences that happen and they never actually put a little light, shine a light on it. And they're like, oh, whatever. And then their whole life they have a trust issue with authority because of a grade 1 experience. But a lot of people don't have the space and the conversations to just have a talk around it. So what would you give advice? Like, what advice would you give so that kids that are now in grade 1 now, if you were to talk to the teachers, how would you deal with it when someone says, oh, I twisted my ankle? And then, yeah, what would you say?
Well, I would say really pay attention to the little things, because the little things can definitely make an impact. But also, like, big things too. But the little things, like getting called names, that will stick to you for a long, long time. Because then when you're hurt and stuff, like mentally, then you'll come back to that time, be like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm fat, oh, I'm too skinny, I'm too tall. And then that will just impact you in your life, and you won't really have any more confidence. So we're like calling names, name calling, and then when you like even if you stub your toe, and they'll be like, oh, are you okay? If just something like that, like showing that they actually care.
So would that be like compassion?
Yeah.
And it's almost like feeling their pain.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay, like even if they didn't feel your pain, just to kind of say,
Yeah.
Are you okay? Rather than saying, hey, you'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the difference? What's the difference? Like, oh, you'll be okay. And what's the difference of like, man, are you okay? What's the difference?
Well, when like the second one, when you're like, oh, are you okay? Like really trying to see what's going on. Well, then that's showing that the person's actually interested and like really wants to help you during that time. Mm-hmm. And then the other one where it's like, it sounds like you don't care and someone's telling you have to, not like you volunteered to help and show that you care, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like one's more genuine.
Yeah.
One is more like, do you think maybe when someone says, come on, get up, let's go, it's more about their schedule than actually like, oh, they just want to get to the next class? Mm-hmm. Is that how you feel, or is that just me seeing it?
Well, it's like 50-50, if you know what I'm saying.
Not really, to be honest. What do you mean 50-50?
So it's like half of what you're saying is true.
Right. Okay. So what would be 100% true?
Well, when someone's like, how do I say this? Ask the question again.
Okay. Let's move to something else.
Okay.
So now it almost reminds me of Scarlett of how mom raised you. That's what mom did, and that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned with having mom, is because I've been so tough as a parent, just because of how I grew up, and I was trying to work out that and lack of connection to who I am, and always trying to it's about the mission more than about connection for so many years. But that's obviously changed. But mom always would do that. Hey, no matter what you guys would do, mom would say,
oh yeah,
are you okay?
She has a really big heart for kids.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? What does that even mean? We always be like, we hear things, and I was like, what does that really mean? That's like me and Jack and I do that all the time.
She's very emotional, very. So if you told like a fake sad story, she would instantly start bawling. But I asked her a would you rather question about like, if you had favorites in the family. She started crying. But, like, not because sad, but she was just really thinking about it, like, if that actually happened. But for a soft spot for kids, like, it seems like to me that she actually tries to feel what the other kids are feeling. Like, she really does care. We can all see that. But then sometimes kids take advantage of that. And then then she'll lose trust in that kid. Or kids.
Mm-hmm. We got lots of them, hey?
Yes.
What's it like being in a family of this big of a family, Scarlett?
Stressful.
We have 7.
It's just stressful.
Really?
Really stressful.
And so how old are you?
13.
13. Oldest is 15. The youngest is, how old's Heaven? 7?
6.
6 or 7?
Yes. No, she's 6. Jules.
$10 on the bet right now. She's 7.
6.
$10?
Yeah.
Dang, I probably lost that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check that out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 7. Anyways, I think she's got to be 7.
No, she's 6.
Dang it. got so many freaking kids. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so why is it stressful to be in a family that big?
Well, first, I have to share a TV with my younger brother.
Oh, the tragedy.
No, it's not like that. I don't want to sound like a spoiled kid, but when he takes the TV, he broke the TV, like the HDMI, he broke that, which really made me mad because then it'd be like, he's not responsible. Not to be like that older kid that just hates her brother and
It kind of looks like that, to
Yeah,
be honest. It actually looks like you hate your brother. Honestly, every day.
I do.
When you walk into your room, you don't say, "Hey, Rock," you say, "Get out!" And it's like, what the heck just happened? I'm like, yeah, so yeah, that's an interesting relationship. Hey, do you think you'll ever be friends with him?
Yes, I do think we could be friends because yes, there are times that we do get along and we have a good time, but then Rock gets bored and then he starts bucking.
Mm-hmm. And then what? Can you do me a favor? If someone has never met you before, describe who you are.
I would say I'm kind. I can be very aggressive at times.
Sorry, go ahead.
I love horses. I would ask them if they like horses, obviously. And wondering what they would like to be when they're older. And then I would say I would like to be a mom when I'm older because, well, then it shows that I care for little midget kids. And, yeah. So then they would get my personality. By the way I talk, like I have a lot of confidence. They would see that instantly. But they would instantly feel my personality when even how I walk up to them and with confidence. I have a lot of confidence, maybe a little too much, but I have a lot of confidence. Yeah, so
are you more like me, Dad, or you look like Mom?
I would say I'm in between.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think the good looks are definitely for me.
No, that's just me.
That's funny. Nope, just good looking. Just how it is. That's funny. So tell me this then. What do you love about me and your relationship?
You get me. Not in that weird way, but you understand.
Hold on. What's a weird way of getting you?
In
a weird way. I'm I want to know what that means.
So when
in a weird way.
When those dads, they pretend they understand the kid and be like, oh, I totally understand, but then their head.
Oh, that's the weird way.
Yeah.
Like a fake understanding.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally get you. And they don't get you.
Yeah, and they're like, oh,
so
yeah, totally understand.
Okay, so you love that so what do you mean I get you?
You actually understand. When I'm mad, you know why I'm mad, and then because you've probably been there with your family, and not exactly, but you just, I don't know, how do I say this? You understand me because you have been in a situation sort of like that with your family and your dad and siblings. I've been through that too, multiple times with my brother and sisters.
So you think I get you? That's a really cool thing, for real. If I could ask one thing to have said, that would be it. My dad gets me. That's pretty cool, Scarlett, for real. I love that. So what would be an area of improvement for my relationship with you?
So I'm just gonna go through the things here. Not
you got a whole book?
No, not to improve, but things that you already have, and then what can be better.
Okay, what do we have? What do we have?
Well, we both love seeing movies.
We do.
Movies are awesome.
I want to go today.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll talk later about it.
No, but we like seeing movies. My dad takes me on dates, so that's fun. We do have that connection. That's fun. And, well, you can't really get bored with my dad because he always comes with something fun to do, unless it's with work. Well, then you could just fall asleep in his car and stuff, but or watch Netflix, Yeah, so you always come up with things to do, so you never actually get bored. You try to have a sense of fashion, but I completely disagree with that. So better sense of fashion, you know.
Oh, so that's an improvement in our relationship because my lack of fashion impacts your life so deeply that you wake up in the morning going, man, my dad has no fashion. And then, so one of the biggest, deepest conversations we've ever had here is that if I could improve my fashion statement, our relationship would be better. I think, well, so how would you dress me then? Like I'm wearing some nice kind of gray khakis with a black t-shirt. How's this? Come on.
Well, okay, so...
Okay, out of 10. 1 to 10. 10 being I nailed it this morning. Like I got a nice shaved bald head, quite a little beard. I got kind of a nice jawline, good blue eyes, and that matches what I've got wearing. What do you think? Is 1 out of 10?
I'd say a 6.
6? Not even a 7. Well, okay, how do I get to 10?
So my sense of style is more Western.
Whoa. We're talking about my sense of style. Western? You want me to be a freaking cowboy?
Yeah.
This is making sense. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I see what you're doing. So the trendy, kind of preppy, kind of built muscles. Oh, you like muscles or not?
Yes.
You like the muscles. I just need a cowboy hat.
No, you gotta wear the jeans. You gotta buy me a horse. Maybe.
Whoa! It's now about you again. I'm still on how I'm a 6 out of 10 on fashion.
Okay, yeah. So you need to get some jeans.
Like really blue ones that say Wrangler on it.
No, with like the big belt. And the,
belt buckle.
Yeah, belt buckle.
What does the belt buckle say in your mind? Like, is it like what would it be? Picture Longhorns? Like.
No. Like I'm thinking, you riding a bull. A bull.
You want me to be a bull rider? Yeah, so really tight jeans.
No, not tight.
Not tight. So big baggy ones? So just normal ones?
Just normal.
So a bull rider is your thing. So you're thinking our relationship. I'm just getting it clear here. Because when I said the things that you would maybe improve in our relationship or how could be better, you thought my style sucked. So, or was a 6. I think that means sucks. Because at 7, I'm happy with 7. But 6, now that is not good. But to improve that, you're saying get a cowboy hat, get jeans, cowboy boots, and a belt buckle. And now you're going to be like, my dad is the best dad in the world. Mm-hmm. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm going to be for Halloween. A cowboy. That's when I'll dress up for you.
Yeah.
So what other things, now we've established the biggest issue in our relationship is my style. What would it be other things that you say would be like, how can we improve our relationship? Because I know you love the dates and you love that I get you, which is really cool really honest, that's cool. But what would be improving our relationship?
Well, just in general, your temper.
Your temper?
Your temper.
Whoa. Cut this part out. Cut. Like, describe for like, what does that mean? Like, is it like, hey kids, be quiet, like that, or it's like?
It's just the way. The way you talk.
Yeah.
Like, just when you're stressed out, you kind of take it out on the kid. Like, not on purpose.
Yeah.
But just on accident. You don't mean to hurt us or anything. But the way you talk to us,
mm-hmm.
and then if. Like, let's say Jewel is screaming in the background, you'll probably scream at her back and say...
So that's what you picture me doing, is screaming at her, going, stop it! Be quiet!
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then,
Because in my interpretation of that, is I'm just like, in my mind, I'm not doing that. That's really interesting to hear you say that. You're like, yeah, your temper, how you yell at the kids.
How you dress.
Yeah. But it's just really cool for me to hear that, Scarlett, because it's sometimes I think as a parent, it's like we don't stop and listen to your perspective. Like, it's like, you actually think I'm yelling and screaming in the house.
And you probably think
I don't think I am at all. And that's where it's like, I'll be like, hey, get up and go, stop throwing blueberries at your sister. You're going to get it. Like, I feel like I do that. But it's like, it's interesting to hear what you say, because my perspective of what I'm doing, maybe it's a little bit more intense for the kids, and I don't even know that.
Yeah, especially for Evan, that's intense for her. Well, because she's at a young age. She thinks everything's rainbows and cupcakes and a lot of cake, and there's sugar, just bags of sugar, So, yeah. And then like she's in her like fantasy world and playing with Play-Doh and slime and she's
just being a kid.
Yeah, and then she does something wrong, and she doesn't know she did something wrong because she's too young to know. And then you yell at her, and she's like, "Well, what'd I do?" And then she gets hurt and stuff. But then she gets dramatic, like her mother, and then starts screaming and having a fit, like this morning.
Yeah, it's almost like it makes me think that when, like, they're not going to bed. But guys, go to bed. It's time to get into bed. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but sometimes you can be like stressed or you're not having coffee for a while. And
So do you think that? I just think that a lot of parents might be doing this, and it's like, and would listen to this, and to be honest, it's not the most comfortable conversation to have for me, because if I ever put this out into the open, it's just hard because we have the sense of protecting our image. You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that in my life. I just want people to know who I am. They got to take it or leave it. And I'm a really good guy, and I realized, but wow, I definitely need to learn how to communicate better in my home with my kids, because if it's coming across that way, it's not at all what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's interesting. But when I'm not stressed at all, is there a difference? What's the difference?
Well, you're just, in general, you're a lot calmer than when you are stressed. Then not as many things bug you. Like if the kid's screaming in the background, you can like handle
whatever,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, because that's like every day for us. But
I know.
you know, and then when you want to play hockey on the Xbox, you're not like, just get off, you know.
It's my turn now. Get there. You've been on here all day. Because
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, hey, guys, you've been on here all day. It's funny. We should do a YouTube channel of how I think I'm acting and how you think I'm acting, and we'll make both very extreme. So I'll walk in there like a priest or something. Hello, everybody. Can you please get off the Xbox because I'm about to play my game? Thank you. You guys are so wonderful. And then yours come out. I'm just like, everybody get off.
Smashing
You've
the
been
TV,
on the 45 minutes playing. It's my turn. I just had a game for myself.
I work day and night.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Blood and sweat into this house.
Imagine, I paid for this house, kids. You do nothing around here. You throw blueberries at each other and make stains on the carpet.
Go mow the lawn.
Imagine, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. We could do eyes of the kids, eyes of the parents. That's a good idea. So anyways, yeah, no, it's cool, Scarlett, that we can have a conversation like this. I honestly don't know who will listen to it, but I think there might be people out there that be like, oh, that's cool that the dad and a daughter can communicate. You know, that's one thing I think me and you have.
Or
hey?
they'll be like, oh, I should probably change my attitude, because then they'll put their feet in their kids' shoes, and then they'll be like, oh, wow, I really am acting at that, or not like that. And
so this is what I'm thinking. So what you're saying, I think, is, tell me if I'm not right, but it'd be cool to get a parent from this moment that we talked about to say, I wonder how my kid sees me when I'm just telling him what to do.
yeah, because it could be like the parent could think, oh, I'm just at a 10, you know, like for extreme level, and then the kid could be like, oh, it's at 100 now, I gotta run, you know.
And that's what I think I'm getting from this, is that when I communicate, it's like you said, put your feet in their shoes and just be standing there and go, okay, what is it like for a 7 or 6-year-old? We will learn how old she is later.
You gotta pay me $10 for that.
I'm probably gonna pay $10. I'll pay for your movie. To hear a grown man that's 200 pounds coming in the room with the face expression of seriousness, guys, it's time to listen. So it's very cool.
Oh, they'll listen. Just they'll probably like poop their pants in the process.
Did that happen to you? Have you ever pooped your pants?
No.
Why did you use that as an example? I think maybe you have.
No, that'd be funny though.
Be funny.
If that happened.
Oh.
Just where they've been sitting, there's like a brown stain when they get up.
That's so gross. So gross. That's so funny and gross. We like laughing at dumb stuff like that. Hey, our family's kind of gross a bit like that.
Our family's very gross.
Wow, we should probably stop now. Mom, I can take it. Mom's gonna be like, no, we're not that bad.
We should probably go on Facebook and be like, everything my husband just said is a joke.
It's not a joke, but I just cleaned up the mess. So what's the funniest thing you remember about growing up?
Rock and Jack wearing my princess dresses, and then painting nails, and then my one birthday, I think it was my 7th birthday in High Ridge, Jack came down with a Cinderella dress, and he came down the stairs like he was a princess, and I was like, what are you doing? This is my party, leave. And
he dressed up for your party?
Yes, in my dress.
So he could come to the birthday party?
I know. And then, so he came in, his nails were done.
Yeah.
I'm like, who did your nails? He's like, oh, I did them.
Did he do them for real?
Yeah, he actually did. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Yeah,
we should remind him of that, because I bet you he doesn't even remember.
Oh, he probably will. I remember, but like,
Oh my
it
goodness.
was so weird having like my brothers come down and stuff. And then what was really weird for me, but like at the same time normal because it happened to me. For other people, would be like, "What?
Yeah, what the
like,
heck? Our
yeah.
family's different.
So like, Rock just
Probably not.
came in my room and took my dress. I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna put this on, play with the girls." and stuff.
He would be so embarrassed. He's such a hockey boy, man's man.
And then if I tell his friends, "Oh yeah, he wore dresses," he'd be like, "No."
That's not true. But he's so mad at you.
Oh
He'd
yeah.
be so mad at you. So let me ask you something. How do you choose your friends, Scarlett?
Well, I don't just choose them right away. Not to be weird or anything, but like not a stalker. But I just keep an eye on them, see how they act to other people, and then like I like kind and respectful friends that will stay with me for a long time. That didn't happen with one of my other friends. I'm not going to mention their name, but
No, that's not.
yeah, but she didn't treat me well. I thought I was like helping her. I did help her a little.
She was kind of she had a lot of tough life. I remember
Yeah.
that you were always there for. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we always had fights, but like we always got through them, and then we had big fights, and then then it just got more intense. So then we just ended it.
You did or we did? Like how you said we
No,
ended it? Or was
no,
it your choice or
it
both
was
of
my
you?
choice,
Okay.
but-
So you chose to say, I don't want her in my life.
Yeah,
Why?
because it just got too much for me, and then I saw
pretty
that
cool.
she was changing me instead of I was changing her. I was becoming more aggressive like her. So, yeah, I'm like, oh, I can't do this because now I'm treating my family bad. And so I saw that because, well, I study how I act, because I like changing, like, for the better. But sometimes when I'm really stressed out, I'm like, screw that.
it.
Yeah, screw it.
I'm gonna be.
I'm gonna be like a 600-pound girl, and I'm gonna love
Aw.
like it's fine, but
So you're saying you give up on everything? You just and you're like, screw this. I'm having 75 pounds of ice cream. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
chocolate, Kinder chocolate, obviously.
Oh, not obviously, because not everyone's be like, oh yeah, obviously Kinder Chocolate. No, that's you, Scarlett. Like that's your
Yeah.
world, not anyone else's.
Yeah, that's my world. Yeah.
Everyone knows Kinder Chocolate is what you do. So what happens when you go into a place where you just give up on yourself?
Well, I've been there a lot because family of 7 is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I do is I try to not to be like all solitary or anything, but like I try to keep myself away just until I calm down, so I don't like emotionally or physically hurt
Because
anyone.
I personally think you might be a bit emotional myself. Like you
well,
say
I'm
that
very
about...
emotional, very, but I like.
So you kind of have enough self-awareness to think, I need to get the heck out of here or else I'm going to blow up or something.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
then if they follow me, well then they're probably just gonna
Like what would you do, punch him in the face?
worse maybe.
No, you
Like-
wouldn't.
Oh,
You're
no,
such old
no,
talk.
No, not punch him in the face, but give him a wedgie until like they pee their pants or something, and like kick him in the shin a couple times.
Yeah,
you know?
you can be quite mean. I got to work on you on that.
Yeah.
It's not going to... Kicking people in the shin is probably not the solution.
Yeah, I guess.
Where do you feel at a disadvantage in your life?
Like, where I feel like
It's almost like, let's imagine that... What I'm trying to say is like, imagine if you were playing hockey. I'm using an analogy that I would... No, imagine you're riding a horse.
okay.
One person had a saddle and one person didn't. The person with the saddle would have an easier ride, right? So that's
Definitely.
called an advantage. So in life, using that kind of idea, where do you feel that you might, someone else might have a better advantage than you? Or if you have a disadvantage, where would you have a disadvantage? Do you understand what I'm saying or no?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I understand. Not very well, but I understand what you're trying to say.
Where do you think that, like someone else would have a better chance than you?
Okay. Well, in hockey, because I'm terrible at
Okay, no,
hockey.
no,
but,
no.
like,
Like,
I
for
know I
real.
just wanted to put that out there.
Because that is true. Brock is so much better than you at hockey.
I can agree with that, but favoritism. But I would say, well, I'm gonna put Jack in this. Okay, he's never around, so but
He's older
but-
brother, yeah.
Well, so I feel like I have it harder than Jack because, well, first he's not around, and then when he is around, everyone can like scream in his ear and stuff, and he won't like blow up.
So he has a bit of emotional, more.
No, I have emotions.
No,
He's
he
like,
looks more like he can handle the situation better.
oh,
So your
yeah.
disadvantage is that.
I have more emotions that can
Yeah.
blow up.
So where would that be? Where would your emotions be an advantage?
When let's say Joel or Heaven gets hurt, Jack will be like, oh, I'll just get you a Band-Aid. I'll be like, oh, Joel, are you okay? Or Heaven, are you okay?
So compassion.
Yeah.
Empathy. That's where you feel someone's pain.
Yeah, that's what I get from Mom.
Completely.
Yeah.
That's really cool. You're a really interesting girl because you look so hard.
Obviously, this is me.
You're amazing. But you look so tough. But then when time comes, it's like this absolute contrast of like, it's almost like you have like a black and white side in a way. You're like, whoa, she's tough. And then, oh my goodness, she's like Mother Teresa and you're taking care of everyone. You know what I mean?
The way I see
really
myself is the Wild Witch from the West. I'm using that. When she's not melting, that's the dark side, I would say. And then when she is melting, that's like my emotions, like,
so
exploding.
you would be like, what would be the good side? What analogy? So Wicked Witch is the one side.
A pile over just floating. No, I'm joking. I would say I would be Darcy in a way.
Who's Darcy?
Girl with the dog.
No.
Black little dog.
You mean Dorothy?
Dorothy. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Darcy?
Yeah,
That's the boy version one.
Wait, what?
Darcy. I thought you were talking about a boy.
Oh, no.
It'd be Darcy. I'm like, who the heck's Darcy?
No.
You would be, so you're a mixture of Wicked Witch in the West and Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Oh, that's great. Come on, Toto. Let's go.
But
you have no brain.
No.
Come with me.
No, but I wouldn't let him run because like the little elves, you can't trust them. They can take that dog anytime. They can sneak up on you and just like funny. You can't trust those guys.
Can't trust those.
No, you don't know them, and like you're singing songs with them, but sooner or later.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. You're goofy. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up here. But first, if you were to ask me one question, any question in the world, what would it be? And I'll answer it.
That's hard. Like, it shouldn't be hard, but it's hard.
It's okay. It's called being put on the spot. It's okay to be hard. Maybe think of it from someone listening. Like a question that you would add that maybe the answer might be for someone else, maybe. Or if it's a question that you just really want to know about me. We're pretty open.
If you could change anything in the past besides like your childhood and like the way you met Mom, I don't know how you, but what would you change if you could change anything?
Wow, that's a really good question, Scarlett. That's a really good question.
Because I'm asking.
I get questions because you're amazing. I have a lot of people on this show, like very very neat people, and they've never asked.
But I'm better than.
Yeah, and the confidence is really rich.
Yeah.
Let me just think here. What would I change in my past? That's tough. I've had so many bad things happen to me.
But if you can only change one thing.
I know, that's tough.
Like.
Oh, that's a tough one. What would I change? Where I go is, so my whole childhood, like the entire thing was hard. Mm-hmm. Like hard to the point where I moved out when I was like, how old are you?
13.
Yeah, 12 years old. I started running away from home. When I was 14, I was literally living outside and trying to work and stealing from liquor stores and stealing liquor so I could go to my friend's house, go sleep over. And I remember sleeping in a storage room.
That's terrible.
On drugs, and I'd get my buddy drugs. I'd stay in this storage room, and his mom.
So that's his payment.
But so all of this crazy life I've lived, I look back, and I think there's a couple things I would like to change when it comes to you guys and Mom. Like, I look at when, like, the one is that I've had to work out is when we moved to the acreage, that I really forced that.
Oh. Definitely.
You know what I mean? Mom didn't want to move, and I
didn't know about that till the last second. I'm like, wait, what? We're moving? I thought, because like a month, or I'm exaggerating a little, but a month before that, let's say, or two, my mom, I was like, how long are we gonna stay here for? She's like, oh, probably the rest of our lives. Yeah. After that, we move. I'm like, oh, but I thought we were staying here.
So if there was one thing I would want to change, because I think even today I'm dealing with that feeling of I feel like bit of regret. I did this to the family. It was so hard on us. Even on financially, it was hard on us on so many levels because I just forced it. Mm-hmm. Now, that's one thing I think if I could change, that's the one move that I'd go back, and I probably wouldn't move. We would have moved, but it would have been a really cool experience. But what happened was I don't know if this is too deep for you, Scarlett, but when at a very weird level, if you don't believe in yourself and you start getting some really good success and your self-belief doesn't match the success, so you feel like I'm not good enough to be rich, I'm not good enough to be popular, you will subconsciously go screw it up because you feel like if you feel like you're less than everyone else, or if you feel like you're deep down like you're a failure or anything like that, even though it's subconscious, so it's not something you're like, I'm going to go screw my life up. What happens was I would change things because it would bring my success down. We would have financial challenges. A relationship would be challenged. And there's this weird sense of like, that's what I deserved. I deserved only that because when I was told that, like, remember what you said, like when you get bullied and then you have that feeling of like, oh, I am a loser.
Yeah, it sticks to you for a long time.
So I had that
so self-confidence went
totally down. So that was probably the driving force of why I'm like, we need to move, because at a weird subconscious level, I was really becoming successful. We had tons of money. We had a lot of success, and I made some decisions that would hurt the relationship, hurt our financial picture. We moved into and it was just like this thing we had to spend a couple of years to figure out. That was really hard. But on the other side, that really helped Renae and I's relationship because it kind of broke it apart.
But then you guys had to work together to build it back up.
Totally. So there's always this weird sense of perfectness. So I understand that it's not like, because I don't think there's a right or wrong path. I think there's just different ones, and we need to learn from whatever we do. That's what I would say. That would be the thing I would change. So pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say one thing about Dorothy.
okay.
I had to think about that for a second. But about Dorothy and Toto, I wouldn't let him run around like I had said. I would have like a baby carrier, but to put Toto in that baby carrier and just run with us.
Yeah, but what if you remember they had to climb the mountain in Wizard of Oz to get to?
I was stick the thing on my back. Then.
Like a Fortnite thing.
No.
Fortnite backpack with the dog in it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
What? Okay, one last thing. What advice would you give 13-year-olds today?
On my personal experience, everything happens for a reason, so don't just give up right away. You can work on it, and parents are there to help most of the time. Sometimes they just don't get you, and then sometimes you need to talk about what you think about them. You know, just like help them help you, so then you guys have a bit better relationship with each other, and then maybe spend some one-on-one time with different family members or just your parents, whatever you guys choose. But like, you know, just to work on the relationship, because once you build that relationship, you won't really feel alone anymore. You'll feel like, oh, I can fall back on this person, it'll be okay, but not like in a bad way. Like,
that's really good. That's actually like, it's really cool advice, Scarlett. Like, if someone really takes that to heart, I mean, what you just said is help your parents help you. That was really interesting. Extend that for real. And then once you develop the relationship with your parent, you'll never feel alone. And then don't worry, they're not going to get you all the time.
Yeah.
But that you need to start having real conversations with them. Then that's really cool. Well, on that note, because that's a big, unless you got something else to say.
Just Toto's cute. Like
Okay,
dog.
yeah, and so is my outfit. Okay, we'll end that show at that point. Thanks, Scarlett, for coming out. And yeah, so here's to Rock, your best friend.
No.
What do you mean? Rock, your brother. Oh, here's Mom. Come on in. Okay, anyways, that's it. Cheers.